Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the market wrap for Tuesday, the 7th of July. And look, today it was a quite uninspiring session for the Aussie market. By the end of the day, we were down by around 1/3%. So a very small move lower, but it was still our second straight day of very marginal declines. Yesterday, we were down by a little over 0.1%. But keep in mind, this does follow a very strong session on Friday when our market was up around 1.4% to have our best day in about 3 weeks. So we are coming off that very strong performance. Looking across the different sectors today, it was quite a mixed bag. So you can see we only had 4 of the 11 sectors actually improving, but we did see some strong improvements coming through from the financials, which were up by around 1.3%, helped by the major banks, and tech was the strongest performer of the day, up by around 2%. But on the other side of things, we did see mining and energy stocks being a real drag on our market following commodity prices lower. So although oil prices have edged higher today, just slightly on reports of fresh attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz, we're still seeing oil sitting around its lowest level in more than 4 months on signs of rising supply after OPEC Plus agreed to increase production for next month. So today we did see energy stocks down by over 1%, and we did see the materials sector down by 2.6%, certainly the biggest weight on our market in today's session. There were plenty of winners around. Shares of WiseTech soared by as much as 10% earlier on in the session on news that Executive Chairman Richard White will step down effective immediately following recent investigations into the founder. Now, WiseTech has appointed Raylene Murphy as independent board chair, while Mr. White will remain on the board as an executive director and will continue his key role as chief innovation officer. WiseTech shares did pair earlier gains to end the day around 5.5% higher. Next, DCC was another strong performer in the tech space. It shares up 3.6%, but the best performer of the day was investment platform operator Netwealth, and this is after announcing the expansion of its relationship with Morgan Stanley by providing a platform solution for ASX-listed and domestic investments. And while all the major banks actually improved by over 1% today, we did see Westpac being the outperformer, lifting by over 2%. Now, on the other side of things, several stocks actually lost ground on the back of target price cuts, including Deep Yellow, New Hope, and PLS Group, but also likely linked to lower commodity prices. And finally, Lynas Rare Earths had quite a rough session today, despite announcing a $50 million investment in a Malaysian permanent magnet manufacturing venture. But keep in mind, its share price is still roughly 35% higher in year-to-date terms, and that's thanks to a strong rally at the start of this year that was driven by higher rare earths prices. Now, looking over to currencies, the Aussie dollar is slightly lower. It's down 0.24% to 69.4 US cents. We're weaker against the euro and also against the Japanese yen. Now, looking ahead from here, US futures are pointing to a positive start when trade kicks off tonight in a few hours time. At the moment, the Nasdaq pointing up by a little over 1%, the S&P 500 up by 0.7%, while the Dow Jones is pointing up 0.3%, but this is after setting a fresh record high in last night's session and topping 53,000 points for the very first time. We'll also get a weekly update on US jobs, which is sure to receive a lot of attention. Tomorrow on the local front, it's a little bit more quiet. We have A2 Milk set to pay out their special dividend, and we also have RBA Assistant Governor Sarah Hunter set to speak in Canberra. So that'll happen at 11 a.m. So make sure you tune into that. On that note, that wraps it up for today. We'll see you again tomorrow afternoon.